This isn't really a blue tie. It was supposed to be a black tie when I was going out. So I was looking for a black one. My wife missed me on the way out, so it's blue. So I know somebody's looking at me like, what's up with that? I'm really excited about something that we're going to try to do again. Several years ago, the SELPA used to sponsor an activity, an event called Life After High School. And these are common throughout the state of California. In fact, there's one going to be in Colton next month. And we would like to do that again here. And we have a date of April 12th. April 12th, and it would be here in this facility. And the idea is, at least right now in the preliminary stage, it would be a number of vendors and people with information, vendor in the loosest term, from colleges, from community resources, from all kinds of information that we can identify that parents might be interested in talking to representatives from these organizations, because they're getting ready to transition their child from the school environment into a work environment or a part-time school work environment or something like that. And it's a very nervous time quite often. I was a high school principal for a number of years, and at graduation time, it was inevitable that a number of parents would come up and thank you for working with their child for the years that they were there. But if they were in special education, they would say, now what do I do? And that kind of resonated with me a lot. What do we do now? What kinds of supports are available? What is this thing called the regional center, and how can I learn more about that? And what other kinds of resources are available in the community to help my youngster move forward in life? So we're looking at that type of program to offer this kind of information, and we understand that you have a committee. Amy invited me to come to speak briefly tonight about, we have a date, we have a location, we have a rough idea of a plan. We want to get a couple folks from your committee to join with us, with our staff, and talk about what is it that parents want to know, so we can begin to flesh out our list of invitations to the potential vendors, and maybe even possibly have a keynote speaker this year, which was not the normal pattern that we had in the past, but we found a couple keynote speakers that might be a real valuable resource to parents as they're thinking through this process. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. We're excited about this because we really think it can really bring a lot of information together for people in one place, so they can help their youngster be a little more successful and maybe help with planning. But if you have any questions about that, or I'm happy to answer those. We don't have any specific vendors yet or a keynote speaker just yet.
So as we kind of visualize this, I've heard from the past before I came, the municipal areas would be open and there would be vendor booths. And Karen tells me the parking lots are all more than full, just like I mean, how many people turn out. So your keynote speakers, do you see them being like standing room only and they're talking here? Or do you see breakout rooms, or what do you think?
We have a couple different ideas. We were hoping to get some parent input as we begin to develop the planning. One would be a panel of maybe 3 speakers who would speak for 5 minutes each or 10 minutes each. And then they would have their respective location where people could ask more detailed questions. Or maybe we would introduce all the people who have come to provide information very briefly, and then just do like a round robin kind of thing. We have a couple ideas. For example, we've identified a speaker on autism. Might be really helpful for a lot of folks who are interested in what do you do with a youngster who has autism, and how do you kind of navigate the next years. We found somebody who's really, really good at helping young people look for jobs, for employment. Post-school employment. She has a system that she would like to present, but we want to get a little more input before we decide. But the real information would be the take-homes that you have and the contacts that you can make. So when you go home, and if transportation is an issue, or what do I do about Chaffey College? Who do I speak to get support as my student enters into that college? Is there information, or do they have a support program, which they do, and how do you interact with that, or some other institutions as well? But we have a list, like a very rough list. I got the old list off the internet, not the internet, the J Drive, and Karen sent me a list as well. But it's been a few years, and we want to review that and see if it's really what we're still looking for today and the most relevant information. So the actual format, probably very similar to what was in the past, with a possible short period of time where we would make some presentations, or maybe just offer a workshop here or there, and then have the main area as it used to be. But if you're interested in employment issues or some other kind of issues, working with the Department of Motor Vehicles to get an ID card and things like that. So there's a lot of little things, but we're not sure. We have an idea, but we're not 100% sure what parents are really looking for. So we thought we'd ask parents.
When is the Colton one?
Pardon me?
When is the one in Colton?
That'd be good for them.
Yeah.
The Colton one is November 5th, 5 o'clock. It's at Colton High School, and my staff is going there en masse because we want to learn
Right.
what they do there.
Okay.
We have a little bit of time to kind of see what's going on.
Right.
And it's November 5th at Colton High School on Valley Boulevard in Colton, and it's from 5 to 7. So if you can make it, if you're interested in seeing what they do, and then you're going to come and join us and talk about this, that'd be really helpful. Because we want a top-notch program. We want a program that we can be proud of because it really offers the type of information that families need to help their youngsters.
Will each of your grants have a booth?
I beg your pardon?
Will each of your grants have a booth?
Each of our grants will have a booth. Yes, they will. One thing that we're really proud of is the success of all three of the grants, and we want people to know about that. All but one of the grants is primarily during school, is to serve students in school. But the TPP grant has students who are out of, they're not students necessarily anymore. So we would want to provide that information as well. Also, people, the students may have siblings that are younger and have needs in school too, and we can make them aware of that.
And if even junior high students were to come, the parents are looking forward to like, what's high school going to be all about? So if they know there's workability and employment opportunity, that gives them something to kind of plan ahead for. So I think all the
And it's primarily for parents. Like, we're not going to say never bring your children here, but like, it's mainly for the parents to learn information and gather that together to help out.
I used to go to all of them, and the 5-minute introduction, that doesn't work. The rooms aren't big enough, and if you did do presentations, you need breakout rooms for that. And the parents always bring the kids, even the little ones. But it's always a good event.
I think, I think the breakouts are a good idea to do that, but it's like, even just a general overview for everyone. Because I'm thinking, my son's younger, he's not even in junior high yet, but I would still want to hear about what's coming, because you might think that it's like 6 years away, but it's going to be here like that. And so when I'm thinking of how to get people to come, it's not just for the high school kids, it's for anybody. Like, you need to know
What the future is
what's
like.
coming, and and what's
I
out
always
there.
went to them.
And so much is changing. What's happening with the 3 agencies responding to WIOA and all of that. What were opportunities in the past for some of our kids with more severe disabilities, and that is going to change, I think. That's very awesome. And I look forward to you ladies. You're going to learn a lot in this process too. That's going to be awesome.
So we look forward to working with you. I'm pretty confident that we're going to run a really top-notch program, and people from other areas are going to come and visit us. I think that's the way it's going to end up, because we have that reputation of putting on quality programs.
So Ben, you have something really awesome that you did on September 25th. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that? Because I'd love for them to hear about it.
I'm sorry.
Would you tell them a little bit about what you did for the first time on September 25th? Because I'd really like them to know about it. The bar.
September 25th?
The bar.
The bar.
Business advisory.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's
Not
another
the bar.
hat. I was in the
I'm
wrong
like,
hat.
no, you're going to call it the
So I'm
bar.
on the wrong tie and now the wrong hat. She said, I'm hanging out in a bar, and I thought, one of the responsibilities I was asked to assume this year is to invigorate a business advisory roundtable. They're very hard to do. They're hard to do because business people are busy. They're really busy. And I went to a lot of different SOPA folks and other organizations that are trying to build them at the county level and this and that. And they would end up with like 2 or 3 business people. We were able to pull together 10. And last week we had them meet together for the first time. And the questions really were, how can we better prepare young people with disabilities to be successful in competitive integrated employment? That was the whole thing. And we didn't make a presentation. That was the interesting thing. We had a projector there, and one of the business people said, well, you're going to tell us a lot of things. I said, actually, we're going to listen to you. And we took very copious notes, and we're still in the process of compiling. Tell us what we can do to meet the needs of the employer with our young people, to help them in the interview process, the application process, the first week on the job. We think we always know the answers. As an educator, we don't always know the answers. So we were just, for an hour and a half, we listened and took notes. We had some leading questions, but basically we just listened, and they were really great. We had a representative from the Coca-Cola company that does the distribution center. We had a credit union, a bank, and we had this one company. They package a whole Whole Foods kind of nuts and berries and stuff. They process them and sell them all around the country. And we had small businesses and medium businesses. The auto club showed up, and they said, yeah, we would like to. We're always looking to hire people to work in the auto club, and we want to see what you're trying to find out. What were you going to tell us? And you tell us what our people need to do to be successful working at the auto club. And they did. We just got a lot of information, and we'll compile that. Susan will get a copy of it, and they're meeting again in a couple months to validate that process, and we're going to dig a little deeper. We're pretty excited about it.
And it was so interesting to listen to them talk about the different industries and their grooming standards, because the one guy goes, I always look at their shoes, because once upon a time I got hired, and I asked the guy why was I the one, he said, well, I was in the military, and we had really shiny shoes. This other guy across the room said, my pet peeve is when a man wears black shoes and white socks. And then the lady from the credit union goes, and I always look at their fingernails. And she goes, they can wear those plugs in their ears as long as they have a cap on them. Then somebody else says, Target's really looking for kids with tattoos because they think that'll be customers to show that they're with the times. And I'm like, oh my
We
goodness,
captured all this
really
information,
interesting.
and we can develop profiles that talk to students about these kinds of things. So you need to be aware of that. They're not all as fashion conscious as I am. And we want to make sure